Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Oh, Lord. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Are we still up to our old tricks? Um, I thought all of this stuff went out with cash for honors. Thought all of this stuff went out with the fake chic. And you know what? I forgot to tell you all, and I don't know in which order this happened, but there has been three royal princesses and three fake sheiks. Now I don't know if it was always the same sheik, but how do you let this happen the first time, let alone three times? Because out of chronological order, I'm sure there was fake chic, um, Ford Fiesta, right? Remember, she had her little incident with the fake chic. Um, and then, of course, there was Sara, Duchess of York. It wasn't enough. She done stuck a whole foot in somebody's mouth, but she actually had a situation with a fake chic because she was hoping to, well, peddle a meeting with her husband or ex-husband or whatever they are to each other. And then, of course, maybe this was the last of the crew, the last of this very curious trio. And that was, of course, Princess Michael of Kent. There was someone who posed. I know, how could this happen three times? How could this happen three times? I get if it happened the first time, but the second and then the third time, don't they know about each other? This one was posing as a sheik to buy their country pile, whatever little country cottage or estate or whatever the Prince and Princess Michael of Kent. They were trying to sell their place and hoping to get top dollar because they found out they had to start paying real people's rent. They didn't want the Queen paying it. Parliament wanted them to pay it, so they had to sell their country home. And someone posing as a sheik got her to start running her mouth about the royal family. And I promise you, she had nothing nice to say about anybody, including the Queen. So that's three times. I thought it was only two. There was actually three times that has happened. Now, that has nothing to do with today's revelation. You guys, I was minding my own business, listening to spaces, and next thing you know, someone started reading an article explaining everything that happens. Yes, the Duchess of York received, oh, well, let me go to that slide. But this came out 10:39 Eastern time. Um, oh, wait a minute. Is this the right one? Oh, Lord. Uh, wait. Oh, you know what? I take it back. This one is from 2013 that this happened, and it involves the same person that Andrew got in trouble with. Okay, let me go to the more up to date one. Let me go to the more up to date one. Okay, let me find the more up to date. Uh-oh, let me see. Did I lose it? Did I lose it? Let me try it again. Oh, fudge. Fudge. Oh, they didn't share the up to date one. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Mm-mm-mm. I got to find the guy that shared it. Just a second. Anyway, hello if you just joined us. Hi, Valerie, Helen Marmon, Lydia Washington. Okay. Oh, no, don't tell me that they took it away. Oh, I done lost the article. I done lost the article. Now that puts a little damper on it. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay, let's just go with the one that we got then. All right, so right here, we'll start off with Andrew. Prince Andrew set to flee England for controversial secret palace overseas. I repeat, Prince Andrew is set to flee for a secret palace overseas. And that is from the Daily Beast. That is from the Daily Beast. Okay. There it is. And this one, this article originally came out back in March of 2020. Duchess of York received 500,000 in unexplained loans from Lord Grade's troubled entertainment company. Court hears as troubled firm goes into administration. Gate Ventures loaned Ferguson 287,577,000 pounds and a further 232,000. And I wonder, is this around the time when she bought that townhouse, or was it soon thereafter? I forget exactly when that happened. Shareholder Zing Young, is it Zong? Is allegedly owed 2.5 million by the company. Ferguson is a director of a company, but resigned in December of 2019. The High Court hears yesterday. Of course, that was while the Queen was still alive. Okay. Wait. All right. Let me go and find that one. All right. So, and then what is next here? There she is. That is Sara with the guy that they have accused. And I guess this has almost been forgotten about, that they accuse Andrew of giving or possibly having some conflict of interest with this one who was asked to leave the country for being a spy. And not just there. All right. Conservative peer Lord Grade is the current chairman of the company. And the company was called Gate Ventures. What does Sara have? What qualified her to be the president? I'm not president, but director of an entertainment company. An entertainment company. As far as I know, her biggest qualifications was sponsoring Weight Watchers, selling biscuits, and writing children's books. And yet somehow she managed to pocket £500,000. And what it is they say that usually when Sara is doing these things, she's not doing it just for herself. She's actually doing it for the family and mostly for her husband. So a theater company chairman that is chaired by conservative peer Lord Grade, was placed into administration yesterday after court heard how a Hong Kong tycoon with links to the royal family ran up an expense account totaling almost £5 million. Businessman Johnny Han invoiced the simply extraordinary sum of 4.7 million to Gate Ventures, now chaired by Lord Grade, when he acted as chairman before the former BBC boss took over in December of 2017. Gate Ventures has invested in West End shows, including Sunset Boulevard, 42nd Street, as well as a string of obscure films in the Far East. The Duchess of York was director of the company before stepping down in December. This has come mostly from a 3,500 small Chinese investors who had been wowed by the appearance of the Duchess of York. In other words, the appearance by the Weight Watchers lady. They were wowed by the appearance of the Weight Watchers lady. Kathy G, thank you so much for 35 months membership, and hello to you too. Let's see. In response to, let me see, where did I leave off? Okay. Hey, where did I leave off? This comes most, all right. In response, Lord Grade said the fact that fallen victim to a series of fraud committed by Mr. Zhang, who had promised investment of $7.5 million following Far East Roadshow, which has never materialized. The former ITV executive chairman then dramatically accused the tycoon of organizing and leading pyramid selling activities in China. However, after 3 days of evidence, Judge Sebastian Prentice took control of Gates' assets out of the director's hands and placed the company in administration after divulging details of Hong's spending. The court heard Hong who had paid the Queen's listen to this. Hong, who had paid the Queen's grandchildren, Peter Phillips and Zara Tyndall, as well as the Duchess to work in his company, charged Gate Ventures around £2.9 million for various meetings with celebrities. One more time. The court heard that Dr. Han, who has paid the Queen's grandchildren, Peter Phillips and Zara Tyndall? Is there anybody in the family who's not associated with this person? As well as the Duchess to work for his companies, charged Gates Ventures around $2.9 million for various meetings with celebrity. Judge Prentice said Dr. Han had been billing himself as a man of influence through his use of company money that is not the purpose of which these small Chinese investors paid their money into the company. He cited a 6,500-pound bill for lunch with fashion designer Tommy Hilfiger and a $1,000 shopping spree, thousands for lunch with Prince Albert of Monaco, 12,293 pounds for a meeting with Manchester United Paul Pogba, and 4,000 pounds worth of piano lessons. Judge Prentice said that an hour's training session with a Victoria's Secret model in New York might have been a very invigorating. Let me say that one more time. Judge Prentice said that an hour's training session with Victoria's Secret model in New York might have been a very invigorating occasion for everybody. But it was not from immediately recognizable as a company business. During his tenure, Dr. Han also charged Gates Ventures for meeting with Hollywood icons Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Julia Roberts in lunch with the ambassador of Romania and Malta. Lex says, yet they worried about Harry and Meghan's financials projection. Here, here. I'm surprised more people don't know about this. Let me see. I think that was the end of it. Yeah, that was the end of it. But yeah, I'm surprised. Oh, let me see. Joan Lawman, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Fergie has been doing this for the longest. I'm surprised. And you know what? I like Fergie. But I'm surprised that at the time when they were letting her back in, £500,000 that cannot be explained. And you know, when people give you a loan, they don't always necessarily get that money back. I mean, was there any public accounting of her giving the money back? That's what I want to know. The whole family seems to be up to their earlobes with it. Thank you, Marshar. And let's not forget, Peter Phillips had that commercial on Chinese television for a milk company. And Longleat, the house where the Marquise of, is it Longleat or whatever? I don't know what they call her, but that's the half English, half Nigerian girl that's married to the English Marquise. They used the image of their house for the milk ad without even asking permission, when they could have just easily have used the grounds of another, and not that they were there, they just used the image. But they could have just as easily had used any of the royal households, but instead they chose the Longleat house, a Jacobean mansion from God knows when. And look at Zara, the tongue ring Tyndall. So Zara and Peter worked in this company that Sara was, what was it, the chair, director, or whatever, worked in this company. Whether or not they were qualified is anybody's guess. You know, it's one thing if you're dressing up and selling outerwear and clothes and stuff, which Zara has done, and she looks great. And Peter Phillips, you know, nobody can drink boxed, bottles of Chinese milk more convincingly than he. But as Legs said, they were so worried about whether Harry and Meghan were going to sell hats or t-shirts or nappies or whatever. And yet you have all of this going on in the background. And this is just stuff that we know about. There was loans from Epstein that went to that family, went to the York family. Yeah. So I think I was done with that. But let me go back to that one more time, where it says the court heard that Dr. Han, who has paid the Queen's grandchildren, Peter Phillips and Zara Tyndall as well. Peter Phillips and Zara Tyndall. And I'm just like, where did they come from? Where in the world did they come from? So, what is his name? Andrew Lonnie. He's the one who decided to retweet this today. He's a literary agent, and he's no friend to the Sussexes. He's a literary agent, author of Stalin's Englishman. Oh, that doesn't sound promising. The Lives of Guy Burgess, the Mountbattens, Their Lives and Loves, and Traitor King. So I guess that's about Wallace and the Duke of Windsor. So not only did he share that today, but he also shared the thing about Andrew fleeing the country. So let's get to that one, shall we? Let's get to Andrew fleeing the country. Prince Andrew set to flee UK for palace 4,300. Let me go back to Andrew. Let me go back to Andrew. 4,376 miles away amid new Prince Andrew. I'm sorry, Prince Andrew is explained. I'm sorry, not explained. Let me calm down. I'm just getting too excited. Prince Andrew is expected to travel to spend time at Royal Palace overseas in Abu Dhabi. So this is not one of their palaces. This is an overseas palace. I mean, another royal family. Andrew is reportedly set to flee the UK and travel to Abu Dhabi amid the latest royal scandal. The disgraced royal has been gifted the use of a palace, gifted the use of a palace in Abu Dhabi by the country's autocratic elite. It has been revealed. The Daily Beast reports that Andrew Lani will make the claim in a highly anticipated biography about the 64-year-old next year. Amid recent reports of the unfair treatment over his relationship with alleged spy Yang Tengbo, several of the Duke of York's friends have claimed that he could do a, oh gosh, I'm not even going to say whose name they just threw in here unnecessarily, and move overseas within the next few months. Why they like to try to compare them to our faves is it's really only to try to trash our faves. But it was reportedly last week that Andrew had allegedly invited the Chinese spy into 3 royal palaces, including that of Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. And did you guys know that Andrew still received intelligence briefings for quite some time? Now, I don't know if that has ended, but as a what do you call it, Council of State, he received some level of intelligence briefings. I kind of find it hard to believe that they expose him to any information that could be detrimental to the UK, but we don't know what he's telling people. I mean, he could just be saying stuff just to get the money. Prince Andrew made the decision to not attend the royal pre-Christmas lunch at Buckingham Palace yesterday, December 19th. Earlier this week, Andrew and his ex-wife, Sara Ferguson, whom he lives with at Royal Lodge, bowed out of joining the rest of the firm for a traditional Christmas gathering at Sandringham over his relationship with the alleged Chinese spy, which, by the way, the so-called spy has, said he's not guilty of anything. He's, what is that? He's said he's innocent. Speaking of Andrew's absence on Thursday, royal author Philip Dampierre claims that he was very surprised by Andrew's decision. He said, "I'm very surprised Andrew has pulled out of Buckingham Palace lunch because it is a private event and he would only be seen arriving in his car." Which, if he just goes the day before, I don't think anybody would notice him. You know what I'm saying? There's ways he can get there without being noticed and just stay after everybody else leaves or whatever. But instead, because he is such an ego, he would likely want to go through the gate with everyone else. But I still, I don't know. I don't know if it's because of Peter and Zara having had some kind of past dealings, or why all of a sudden? Why all of a sudden is this? Is it to cover for the fact that they say that the Cambridges or Waleses don't live together anymore? Yeah, they both went, but I don't think they're going to do the Sunday morning church walk or Christmas morning church walk. And Will and Kate, they were not there, and they may or may not do the Sunday morning church walk. I'm sorry, I keep saying Sunday, Christmas morning church walk. I just love some good gossip. Why doesn't he blow the whistle on and go into parties? And because he doesn't want to end up like that other person. He doesn't want to end up like that. And do they have extraditions? Do they have an extradition agreement with the United States where he's going to stay? Sounds like the palace wants to force Andrew out as a distraction. They want him out of the Royal Lodge so much. However, they need him as a distraction. Who would be the distraction if he left? Um, I doubt if they're going to pick on Sara so much. But the thing is, Andrew came up with money. That's the one part that they haven't mentioned as often, and they haven't even associated with the so-called spy. They said he got some money recently that he would be able to maintain the Royal Lodge. But where did he get the money from? They only reported that the money was not suspicious. But learning everything that we've just learned about something that happened that not only involved Sara, but Zara, the tongue ring Tyndall, and Peter Phillips. I'd never heard that before. But since we know of all of this, all right, who else does it involve? Right? And where did the money come from? They're still not saying where the money came from. Uh, mm. Okay. Hazel says, imagine Liz heavily medicated and Andrew looking in her red box. Oh my goodness. And he did go to church and stuff with her. He was hanging around her. You know, that is something to think about. Or did Kate look in Will Not's box and her mummy got something to sell? All of this, of course, is alleged, but mm, I love when you guys play along. Nathalando Niandeni, thank you so much for being here. Ah, this is just messy. Messy, messy, messy. Money makes the world go round, the world go round, the world go round. Money makes the world go round. So let me see. Uh, Zara, Philip, and of course the York sisters, they've all had some financial connection. I don't know about the rest of them, but those four have definitely had some financial connections. Um, the York sisters with Epstein and Peter and Zara. Well, and just the fact that Peter so happened to do a commercial for a Chinese milk company. Now I'm starting to think twice about that. Um, I don't know. But you know, they always say follow the money. How could they expect that nobody would ever find out? How would they ever expect that nobody would find out? And Zara banned from driving after speeding 91 miles an hour. I wonder if she was driving home so fast because she wanted to make sure that that check cleared. You think so? You think when she got paid, whether it was a Folsom and Mason bag or whatever it was, do you think maybe as soon as she got that money, she jumped in her car and put the pedal to the metal, all excited to go home and show Mike all of the money she just got? That's what I'm picturing. It's like as soon as she got that money, she dove through the window and spun out of the driveway so fast, kicking up all kind of gravel and little twigs and stuff like that, trying to hurry up and get to the bank to make sure that that check cleared or something. That sounds about right. I mean, she was driving fast for something. And look at the date. Look at the date. That's January 2020. Yeah. I bet you she spun out to the left and right. The car was doing all kind of fishtails and everything. And then next thing you know, they had to pull her over doing 91. Maybe she wanted a diamond studded tongue ring. Anyway, Nacho praises Prince Harry's passion project, Polo. Of course he does. Nacho always loves and approves of everything Prince Harry. Of course he does. Let me see. Wait, where's the story? Where is the story? I'm trying not to stay on uh even an hour, so because I was on earlier today. So Nacho Fagares and Prince Harry go way back. The Argentine polo player, 47, met the Duke of Sussex back in 2007 at a charity match in support of Centabale and have stayed friends ever since. Recently, Fagares appeared in Polo, the Netflix docuseries produced by Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. The Sussexes themselves have a brief cameo in the final episode. Nacho says, "I'm excited about the Polo series, and just I'm sorry, series that just this is a typo. We launched. Fagares told TNC, that's Town and Country, after competing in the World Snow Polo Championship in Aspen. I didn't know they had such a thing, a world polo, snow polo. Snow polo. That's interesting. I'm so excited. This was his passion project, and he has this mandate to do a few shows with Netflix. Figueres said about Prince Harry. He really wants polo, which is something that he's very passionate about and something he's been doing for from a very young age. He wanted polo to be one of the projects. Athlete continued, that is, of course, Nacho. We've been talking about it for a while now. He's very passionate, he's very knowledgeable, and had this sounds like him, a very big role in the whole thing from the beginning to the end, which was for me a blessing, not only to be able to work with a friend and with someone that is knowledgeable. How many times has he said knowledgeable? He's precious. But also for the polo people to have someone like him to use his platform to talk about our sport was a blessing. We were able to showcase our sport to a much broader audience. And so I'm very grateful for that. Fagares says he was optimistic for the possibility of a polo season two. If we get more people to embrace it and love it and give us the thumbs up for on the Polo app, I'm sorry, on the Netflix app, then hopefully we will. He added, the feedback has been great so far, very great. And so, I hope that when the time comes that we will be able to, we're already talking about a second season. So you hear that, guys? Nacho wants to do a second season. Hopefully that will happen. But they're going to need our support. They're going to need our support. So I hope so. They deserve a second season because I am emotionally invested with those people. So I want to know what happened. Kind of like with Emily in Paris. I have become emotionally invested. Ah, King positive about return to full duties. And in the mirror, it says return of the family. No, I'm sorry. There it is up at the top. King, I'm alive and kicking on. So Charles wants everybody to know, in spite of his appearance, that he's excited to work. And then there's this. We spoke about this earlier. Uh am I almost done? Oh, I'm almost done, you guys. I'm almost done. Less than an hour. That's what I was hoping for. By the way, I was on earlier today, so we had a great Royal Sussex earlier. Do go look for it. The toxic British media was involved in it. They printed stories implying Sussexes left the gala in a taxi, then deleted them after it was learned the Sussexes had made a statement, and we learned of the reason for the car swap. They were there. They were there. Um, so I do remember those articles came out. I was so confused because I was up editing a video with all of the stuff that we were able to get from them walking from the limo or the SUV into the Ms. Gala, and then when they left, we see them, walk past the reporters. Now, in my opinion, either the Sussexes took that walk because the Hertz dealership had closed already, or I think most likely Harry and Meghan were trying to give a little bit to them, some photos that they could use. And I don't think anybody realized that there was going to be this car chase. And I don't believe the car chase was about just photographing Harry and Meghan. We all know that they wanted to know where the Sussexes were staying or who they were staying with, and did they bring the children? That's what that was about. It wasn't just directly about Harry and Meghan, but it was also about the children. They wanted to know where those children were. They have been obsessed about the Sussexes' travel and whether or not they take the children. Now, when they went to Nigeria, when they went to Colombia, I don't think there was as much thought about it. But if they go any place in the United States, they're always wondering, where's Archie and Lily, which that just puts a feeling in the pit of my stomach every time I think about it. Lex says, any pay cuts because Wank, Charles III, and she aren't full time. Exactly. Charles III and Kitty are not full time, and Willie's not full. None of them are full time. None of them are full time. To be honest with you, none of them are full time. Charles works more. Charles doesn't really have to be full time, but Kate is more than able to work, and she chooses not to. But I better be careful because, they say that we're picking on a very ill woman, even though when she was at the height of illness, they said she was running and jumping with the kids. She was doing the school pickups. We saw that young woman skipping out of the we saw that young woman um skipping out of the garden center, right? with that big smile on her face. She was supposed to be, I suppose, near death, but yet, even though they said it was good days and bad days, here comes this young lady with a big smile on her face, skipping and moving pretty fast out of the garden center. I was impressed that someone who was as ill as they reported her to be interchanged with stories about how strong she was. It went back and forth. They were interchangeable. But that person I saw coming out of the garden center looked like they were ready to run the Boston Marathon, even had on a tracksuit. So I'm just saying, am I rude for saying that? Uh, yeah, exactly. When I saw that, I I I believe that I saved all those photos from that article, those articles, but I didn't save the actual articles. But I did save the photos. But the tabloids quickly removed those articles. They literally took the entire articles down. Now you can still read about Kate Middleton going out with Sir Richard Branson, right? You can still read about Kate Middleton, the yacht girl. But what you're not going to read about is the night in the taxi. You're not even going to see the articles, the photos, none of that. It's all gone. And that is unusual. And they wouldn't have done that if they didn't have something to hide. So now they're trying to use this idea that Harry has been harassing the New York police and demanding to know if there was a cover up, when in actuality, the emails were written by someone else. And we don't know if they were necessarily given direct permission to write all of the emails. This was a security firm representing a client, but not necessarily directly told what to say. So it was not Harry's words. It was certainly was not Harry using a slur. So that's the Daily Mail there. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and Doria Ragland jump in New York yellow taxi. By the way, this is the first time I've ever shared these images because, of everything that happened. And then on the right, Meghan and Harry spotted jumping into yellow taxi after glitzy ceremony. They made it seem as though they went directly from the gala into a yellow taxi. The reason, if you have forgotten or if you don't know, the reason why they were in the taxi is because the black SUV was sticking out like a sore thumb. And they were trying to figure out a way to throw the paparazzi off. So, what echoed a bit of desperation that night in Paris, oh, God help us, what echoes that desperation, they went to a police station and they stayed there for a while, hoping that the police would be able to do something to get rid of these photographers. And so they came up with the idea of getting into the taxi with that stupid taxi driver that talks too much. They did not go very far. They simply went back to the police station because I could imagine that the person driving the taxi was so busy running his mouth and really not grasping how serious the situation was, as evidenced by his many television appearances where everything he said, he seems to be laughing and talking at the same time. When I say that MF irritated me, I do mean that he irritated the you know what out of me. Jeannie Rock Bailey says, I support you, Baron, for all the news and updates. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat and for being a member of Royal Sussex. So, Sussex Soldier says, indeed, New York police is covering the car chase in New York City. I admire the fact that Prince Harry isn't allowing the media to get away with what they did to him and his wife, and let's not forget Doria, um, in New York City. In justice, he will fight until he gets justice. You can't buy him. He's not Murdoch Williams, or William, Murdoch William. So there you go. Um, and it's all been very discreet. I'm going to also say, in Harry's defense, that whatever lengths that he's gone to pursue this, it has all been very private and very discreet. The only reason why the Daily Mail, supposedly, the only reason why they have any information is because of the Freedom of Information Act. That's it. That is a law here. There's some variation of the law in the UK, but it means that people working for the people, the public, are not allowed to just do things. And well, unless you're Charles William, I would say the Yorks, but they don't get any privacy. They expose the Yorks so that Charles and William can do what they want to do. Um, uh, yes, he did record everything. That's a good point. Antoinette Kennedy said, because Harry was recording. Harry literally had his phone up against the glass of the car, of the window, and he recorded everything that happened that night. So if and when the day comes where they arrest someone, which also I'm going to tell you, you know who has been missing? And I don't want to talk them up, knock wood. That one British reporter, you know, the one that always yells things at Meghan, trying to get her upset. You know which one I'm talking about? He was there that day, the real loud mouth. Have not seen or heard from him since. I have not seen or heard from him since. Now, I can't say whether he's there or he's not there, but there have been many occasions where we know Meghan is going to be there. Not a lot, but many. And you don't hear his big mouth. I don't know what his name is, but he is a very, very shady individual. He was there that day when when they drove into the Hertz dealership. He was there. And I have not heard from him since that night. Interesting, right? I wonder if that's because there's somebody looking for him. I don't know, like the New York Police Department. Haven't heard him. Now, having said that, who knows? He might still be lurking around, but he is very well paid. And I believe I saw him on some type of documentary once, and he seems like a mental case. He seems like a very dangerous individual to be around. He seems that way. I don't know him, but I have not heard his big mouth since that night. And I'm going to guess that there may have been at least 3 or 4 or more occasions when he could have been somewhere and he was not. So I don't know. I don't want to talk him up, but that is the one that I will say has been missing or unaccounted for ever since that night. And he was definitely there. And poor, oh gosh, my Duke and I, she was actually standing out there with those paparazzi people. And she said they seemed like some of the worst people in the world. And some of the things that they were saying about the Sussexes, she has not even repeated. She won't even repeat it. It was just that gross. It was that bad. And those are the types of people that were following Princess Diana around. Those are the type of people that were yelling expletives and calling her nasty things. So when you would see Diana in tears, it wasn't just because they blocked her way, it wasn't just because they were there, but what you don't hear is the language that is used. Now, most of the American paparazzi have been, as far as I have seen, very polite. Meghan, how was your lunch? Meghan, you look beautiful today. Madam Duchess, they have been very, very polite. Now, there may have been some occasions when they weren't, like the night in New York City. But again, I do know that that one guy who has a very strong English accent was there. And I haven't seen him since. Yes, Cookies and Cream says the paparazzi vehicles had very dark windows and the license plates were covered. None of this was let me see, none of this was a coincidence. They were trying to harm them. You know, they did not want to be identified, right? They did not want to be identified. That right there should ring some alarm bells. Number two, um, let me just say, I know that Harry's security was packing. Okay. Whatever they were thinking of, we know that Harry's security, when they're in the US, they have their hand candy, their arm candy. They have their stuff with them. So that makes me feel very good. I hope it never comes to it, but just so that people know they were strapped, right? But yeah, blacked out windows, covered license plates, driving through red lights, riding on the curbs. And they had a blatant disregard for the vehicle that was following them. The fact that these people should have known that even though they may not have been active duty police officers, or in one case, Chris, the Secret Service agent, retired Secret Service agent, even though they may not have been active duty police officers, they should have given some type of deference to the fact that they were indeed law enforcement. Maybe not on duty, but law enforcement. They were present as well. And these blacked out vehicles had a complete disregard for any of that. So thank you, Cookies and Cream. That is a very, very important point. Is that whatever was going on, and we don't know that those people that were in these blacked out vehicles, we don't know that they were the paparazzi. Maybe they were someone there to try to do harm. But there was a bounty. There was a bounty for those photos, much like the bounty that happened back in Paris. And that's just a fact. I don't want to scare anybody, but that's just a fact. There was a bounty on those photos. That is why they were being so aggressive, because they weren't just trying to get pictures of Harry and Meghan. They wanted to know who were their friends, where are they staying, so that they can harass whoever they were staying with, or start renting hotel rooms or whatever until they could get close to them. But they were up to no good. That is a certainty. Lex says they knew that Harry and Meghan, Doria were in the car. Yes, yes, which means someone else was looking after the children. Very good point. Someone else was looking after the children. I still say that it was about those kids, as well as Harry and Meghan and Doria. It was also about those kids. They wanted to know where those kids were. They wanted to know where the Sussexes were staying. So that way they can camp out and cause problems. Yep. Even though those kids were probably with other family, because there is other family, but does not matter. They had some pretty nefarious things in mind, and thank God they didn't get a chance to um, follow through with it. But 2 hours they spent just riding around, hoping that there was some way to get rid of them. And Omen Scobie, I believe, he was the one that reported that this went on for about 2 hours, and the tabloid media went after him, calling him the mouthpiece and all those other things that they said because he told the version of the story that he understood to be true. So, very interesting. But let's see what happens. So far, as they said, no one's been arrested yet. Now, earlier today, we talked about Princess Michael of Kent and that terrible mishap she had. One of the squaddies even asked how she broke her wrist. Was she down on all fours, or what could have possibly have happened? Whatever it was, pretty bad. I mean, she literally broke both her wrists while visiting for a annual Christmas luncheon. It's when you have the most of the family together before the new year, before Trooping the Colors or whatever comes up next. And somehow she managed to break her wrist. I don't know how that's possible. I mean, was she pushed? I tend to contribute it to the ancestors. I believe it was the ancestors. I believe just as the drums of the motherland beat into the night, somehow, some way, she ended up with both of her wrists shattered. Did they catch her trying to stick some of those fancy cutlery utensils? Did they find her trying to pinch some of those, or you know what I'm saying? Was she wandering the place? Or maybe worse, did they have difficulty trying to get her to leave? Maybe she didn't want to leave. But something happened. And now her wrists are broken. I mean, only people that owe money to the mob end up with two broken wrists. You know what I'm saying? Maybe her knees are so bad. Maybe she's already replaced. Maybe she's already replaced her knees. And when they were trying to break her knees, they couldn't. So they decided to go after her wrist. Right? Because she just seems like the kind of person that plays the horses, if you ask me. Her and the queen had that in common. So maybe she had a falling out with her bookie. Maybe she owes some money. And when they realized that her knees were made of titanium, then they went for the wrist. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. You guys, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm just guessing. But anyway, we tried to reach out to Princess Michael of Kent, and she was unable to comment. All we could get out of her was, uh, 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 what's that? Uh-huh. So They went for the knees first. Uh, 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 Oh, okay. I don't know what she was saying, but that's the sound she was making. But she seemed to be rather frustrated um, as they, were wheeling her around. But who knows? I hope that they have some royal protection for her. But and also it seems as it seems as though her injuries are more serious than first reported. But whatever the case is, she'll be all right. I mean, after all, oh my goodness, I was just thinking, um, they do tend to have bad luck in that family, don't they? But she'll be all right. I just hope that it wasn't some fake sheik or some fake, maybe it was another one of those fake sheiks that came up to her and was talking about the weather. And then next thing you know, he started reminding her of a debt. And when he went for the knees and heard that pinging sound, he decided to take out the wrist. So, very unusual. I mean, I hope she has a bidet. Yeah, I hope she has a bidet because otherwise she's going to be in a lot of pain and not pleasant to be around. So, anyway, with that, you all, thank you so much. It has been an hour. That sounds just about right. Um, okay, thank you, Marshar. Yeah. Anyway, gonna say goodnight. And wow, Hazel Jones, you never really know a person. Hazel Jones is of the opinion that they might have cracked a couple of ribs too. Oh well, she'll heal. She'll heal. She always bounce right back. She'll probably come back with some new parts. She probably won't be able to go through most airports without setting off alarms anymore. But she'll get some new parts. It's really unclear how much of Princess Michael of Kent is original and how much of it is replacement parts. Every time I go to Lowe's hardware store or Home Depot, I always think about Princess Michael of Kent. What's real? What's mechanical? What works? What doesn't work? Anyway, okay, you guys, thank you. Love you very much. Thank you so much to the moderators for keeping this a safe space. And I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, and let me say thank you again to Ivy for the very beautiful Christmas card. If y'all didn't get a chance to see it, it is not just for me, it's for all of us. It is for all of us. See there? Beautiful Christmas card for all of us. So if you have not seen it, it is on the community tab. I am going to grab the link right now and share it with you so that you could see it too. Okay. There we go. That is the link. You can hear the song that was selected for the Sussex squad and Royal Sussex. Yes. And I heard her exclaim as she rolled out of sight. Oh. Oh. And I heard her exclaim as she rolled out of sight. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Oh, that's messy. That is so, so messy. Just messy. I wouldn't know any other way to do it. So, good night. God bless and see you tomorrow.